Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.
Today on the Doc on the Run podcast, we're talking about soreness in your leg when you're working on your balance and you're trying to get back to running after an injury. All right, now it's no secret that I really think that you need to do a lot of stuff that's not just running when you're getting back to running after an injury. And one of the keys is actually getting your balance back. When you're more balanced, you're more efficient. When you're more efficient, you put less stress and strain on your lower extremities, and you're less likely to wind up on a consultation call with me doing a webcam visit. So, although I'd like to talk to you, you don't want to talk to me. So what you need to do if you're trying to get back to running is really do everything that you can to maximize and strengthen all of those other injured parts that support that one injured part that you actually damaged when you got your overtraining injury. So whether it was Achilles tendonitis or a stress fracture or whatever, you've got to do everything you can to strengthen that other stuff. And that's what most other doctors don't really explain to you. They just talk about that one injured thing. And you've got all of these other things that you can use to actually get you back to running a whole lot faster. Now, I was just on a call with a guy who signed up for the Runner's Aid Station. So we've been checking in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday morning to talk about his plan and what he's actually doing to maximize those associated levels of fitness in his body that will help things. And one of the things we were talking about that was really interesting is he had noticed that while he was doing some specific exercises I gave him to restore some of the balance and proprioception to actually make him a little more stable and more efficient, was that he noticed he was getting a lot of soreness in his leg. So, with his permission, I'm actually going to share with you the recording of that section of our call from the Runner's Aid Station where we talked about this over webcam, and he was actually explaining what he was getting in terms of muscle soreness, and we discussed whether or not it was really a problem and something he really needed to pay attention to. So I'm going to share that with you now. I think you'll enjoy it, but it'll really help you understand some of the keys that show you you're getting back on track a whole lot faster. So check it out.
Been doing the wobble board stuff, trying to get that 2 to 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's incredible how that fatigues the whole leg below the knee.
Yeah, right. Well, that's what's supposed to do. So that fatigue that you get below the knee is these muscles trying to basically keep you stable, and they're not muscles you commonly use. So if you get that fatigue, when you're doing those muscles, it's a really good thing, because if you had someone that was let's say a high level gymnast, right? Somebody that can do flips on a balance beam. Well, they are so in tune and so balanced, and they have their proprioception so good that they could do that stuff, for an hour straight and not have any fatigue. What it means to, people like you and me is that that fatigue is using those muscles, and an indicator you're using muscles that you are not normally using, and they're really, out of shape, out of tune, and can very rapidly get big gains. Just like some friend who goes out and, who said they want to start running, you tell them, okay, well, this is what you do. Go out and, do this. And then they tell you, well, I ran a mile, but I can barely walk. And they want to quit running, and you're like, no. This is only good. This is going to be very short term. You're going to have this soreness for very short term, and then you're going to be stronger, and then you'll be able to run a whole lot more. And it's the same thing with the fatigue in these little muscles when you do the balance board routine. You're trying to actually use the stretch receptors in those muscles that are getting sore to tell your brain where your foot is actually positioned when your eyes are closed. And they can only get that way if you exercise them enough that you feel it, that you get sore, you get exhausted, you get tired or whatever below the knee. So when you're trying to restore your ankle stability because you've been injured, because you've been off your feet, or because you had some, remote sprain many years ago that damaged your proprioceptive ability, then that soreness is predicted, but it is a good thing. It's a sign you're on the right track.
All right, now listen, if you enjoyed this segment and you want to join me in the Runner's Aid Station, you can go to docontherun.com and you can sign up there. But what you should probably do as a first step is sign up for the 12 steps of running injury recovery. This is a masterclass where I go through in a deep dive and tell you all the things that I would do in order if I was sitting in your living room and you had an overtraining injury and you wanted to keep running instead of just sitting around letting your fitness dissolve. So you can go check it out. It's at docontherun.com/12 steps. It's free. You can sign up there, and I'll see you in the training.
Doc on the Run. We help injured runners run.